Hey everyone, this is my 2021 i30N. It's a DCT model. I'm going to be showing you how I got this car from 276 brake horsepower from the factory all the way to 397 that it is right now. So I'm going to be showing you a story from when I first bought the car all the way to my ownership just about a year and a half later. So anyway, let's get into it. So, I bought this car in November 2021. My dad actually found this car at Richmond Hyundai. It was an ex-demonstrator car. It had about 2,000 miles on the clock. Got it for 30k, so it's a pretty good deal. We got 6k off. And yeah, roll video for that now.
What's the funny button?
N mode. So after about a month of owning it, I actually wondered what I could actually do to it more. I was looking around and just basically messaging people like Remap companies and just looking to see what I could actually do to the car regarding modification wise. And I actually found some bloke who actually told me that Airtec were looking to do some development on the car. And I just reached out to them and they actually accepted and they said, yeah, excellent, we want to do some development on the car. And I'll show you what that was now. So this is what Airtec did. They did development on the induction kit, air filter there, turbo elbow, and the intercooler. Intercooler they did at a later stage, so by the time they actually did the intercooler, I actually had already done the GPF delete and Flexi pipe. So by that point, I was running around, I think, 390 horsepower, maybe 395, not entirely sure, because it hadn't been dynoed yet. But yeah, so that was the current stage of this car, and I think I was about 3 months in of owning. By that point I've upgraded the car by quite a distance. So next on the agenda for me, modification wise, was actually audio modification. Now I did end up putting two 800 watt subwoofers, so that's 1600 watt in total subwoofers in the rear of the car in the boot. As you can see here, two Audison ones. And yeah, the bass hits really lovely, and also I can put things on top of it so it doesn't impact the boot space too much. That was an important thing as well. But yeah, I've never actually owned a car without a subwoofer, so it just felt weird not to have one in one. So yeah, that's what I did here. I did a few other modifications. All of the speakers I ended up changing. I also did a few other modifications, one of which was soundproofing on all four doors of the car. I also replaced all of the speakers in the car as well to better upgraded speakers. So now the sound and the bass just hits beautifully. And I think personally for me, the coolest thing is a little knob I've got, and I can show you there. So if I just get into the car, I will show you my knob. It's an adjustable knob and it adjusts the bass. So it's really handy actually. I know some people, they really don't like having to go onto the screen and change settings while driving if they want to change the bass, if it's too high or too low when they do have subwoofers. This is handy because sometimes it's specific for each song, and yeah, it just adds to the driving experience of the car. And also, one thing I will mention while I'm here, soundproofing inside the car really helps when the car is so much louder now, because obviously some of you will know that a GPF delete and Flexi pipe does really increase the sound of the car, and when you have soundproofing, you don't get the droning noise, as much as you'd expect at all anyway, especially in eco mode. And yeah, just the soundproofing really makes it so much better while driving. And also further modifications, it just keeps it that little bit quieter, just so it's bearable while you're on the motorway and you don't have that really bad droning noise. So at this point, I started going to quite a lot of car events, car meets, whatever you want to call them. Got quite a lot of footage there, so I'll show you that now. also got a video of my mate filming me flying past him in a tunnel as well. That was with just a GPF delete, Flexi pipe, and the modifications I've only mentioned to you so far. So that's a benchmark point, I guess, for those of you that are looking to just get the GPF delete and Flexi pipe, because I know those are the two popular options. So yeah, have a look at this video. That's what it sounds like in a tunnel.
So the next thing for me was that I looked at a downpipe, but I did realise that Airtec didn't have one that didn't set off the engine management lights. When I looked originally and was asking a few questions in the i30N owners group, most people say I'd be an idiot not to get the RPM performance one. So I brought this, as anyone would, to Airtec, to my contact at Airtec, and said the general consensus among all i30N owners is that you'd be an idiot not to get an RPM performance one. So what can we not make one for Airtec? Obviously I would get the part for free and they would then obviously sell the part. They did agree, however there was one issue. At this point Airtec's main mechanic had just left the company and they were still recruiting for a new one. So after very long back and forth and a lot of research done by me, I came across Courtenay Sport, who I'm sure most i30N owners are aware of thanks to Dan Bushell and his videos. Again, for reference, if it wasn't for his videos, I wouldn't understand half the stuff as well as I do now. So officially a big thanks to Dan. Anyway, Courtenay Sport said they could fit the downpipe at an additional cost. At this point I knew my car was ready for a remap and would bring it to stage 2. I had the money for them to do it, so again I thought why not. While I was there, they fitted the development downpipe with mill sheet that Airtec had provided. And the engine management light didn't come on, which was a great success. So that was development successful and it was installed all great. During the time I was at Courtenay Sport, they also suggested that if I wanted to get the most out of the remap, I needed a better fuel pump, just because the standard one couldn't keep up with what the engine could potentially do. Now the downpipe, GPF delete and Flexi pipe was on with the intercooler as well. I said yes to that, and also the PowerFlex torque mount. The torque mount really helped keep the car steady while under hard acceleration, and for me prevented a lot of wheel hop, which is a big problem in i30Ns, especially with the amount of power you've got going through the front wheels. If you're flooring it below 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, it wheel hops ridiculously. So this has pretty much eradicated it. It puts it more down. It basically just controls the power a lot easier towards the road, and yeah, you accelerate so much quicker. But anyway, they did all of this without the remap, and it came out at 304.64 brake horsepower. And they then remapped it, and it got to 405, but they did turn it down to 397 because they were thinking about the car's health and didn't want it blowing up on the drive back. And I'm glad they did that. But yeah, that day I went from 300 brake horsepower car to about 397 in the space of a day, obviously. So, oh my god, the difference was insane. Like a completely new car, so much louder, so much more power. But yeah, just quickly, while I was at Courtenay Sport, I did learn a heck of a lot just in one day by talking to their main guy, John Shield. So again, a big shout out to them and him. They really do know their stuff. If you're thinking about remapping your own i30N, definitely go to them. I mean, they literally answered every single question I had and suggested more things to do within reason and said why. They didn't just tell me do it, but they're able to explain everything and their reasoning behind it. So definitely go to them if you're thinking about that.
So then, one of the last things I actually did to the car was a side stripe and wind mirror stripe, and also sun strip additions to the car. I guess you call them wraps. And yeah, it was really cool. I think the N looks really, really fierce there. Apologies that the car is a bit dirty because of the drive we've had to this location. But yeah, I put Airtec Motorsport company, Courtenay Sport, the company that did the remap that got the car to 397 brake horsepower, and MonsterWraps, the company that actually wrapped this car. And yeah, it really, really brings out the car. I didn't want something too in your face, but it just makes it show that, oh yeah, this is a little bit modified. It's not your standard i30N, which is what I was going for. I also did, shortly after that, the rally flap mud flaps. As you can see there, that's the front one. And then if we go around the back, just here, apologies for my shadow. But yeah, and just brings out the car a little bit as well, and actually stops a little bit more dirt getting towards the side of the car, which does help. Personally, that was one of the reasons why I really wanted it. But yeah. And then actually, yeah, the last modification I did was the blow-off valve, which I'm going to show you in a bit. So yeah, once we boot up the car.
So guys, I'm driving around in Eco at the moment. As you can probably hear, the soundproofing is doing an excellent job. It's not too loud. I'm driving about 20 miles an hour in third gear at the moment. And yeah, it's a good, nice, comfy drive when we're in Eco mode. I will show you it in maximum attack, so you can hear that blow-off valve and you can hear everything else. So give me a moment for that. So this is in Eco mode at the moment. I'm going to floor it just for 1 second. And you can hear the blow-off valve working quite nicely there. A little psh. So I will do it in M mode. So I've shown you what it's like in Eco mode. Now I'm going to show you what it's like in maximum attack in N mode. As you can see, exhaust note changes. And then I put my foot to the floor. So thank you so much for watching. I've been Matt, and this is my i30N. Cheers, bye bye. So those of you that stuck around for the end of the video will probably wonder why there's still more video, and I'm just going to show you something. This was one more modification I did to my car. Let me just turn the car on. And it was interior lights, and I must admit they look really, really cool. Did mood lighting in the seats, got it in the back. I've got the colour set to blue, so it automatically goes to blue. But yeah, got it in the back and in the footwells and door bins here. But yeah, but I did run into a problem with this company that did it. And yeah, they damaged around here. As you can see, there's glue marks around here. They damaged that side tweeter there. And also, they damaged the door handle there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little silver mark where they drilled down into it. So not ideal. All I say to you guys is I'm not going to name the company, but do your research beforehand, make sure they have a website. That's all I'll say. Because yeah, I've had a bit of an issue with these guys. But generally speaking though, the interior looks lovely with this lighting now. I mean, they've got loads of different modes and stuff, but yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to improve the interior just slightly, just something to bring out again, make it a little bit better. But yeah, anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.